Okay, we're going to start off today's lesson by completing this do now. You can use a calculator, and knowing that the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees, I want you to find the measurement of angles 1, 2, and 3. So pause the video, draw the diagram in your notes, and again, you can use a calculator. Okay, so 28 plus 82 I have is 110 degrees. So if that's 110, then we know that angle 1 is 70. And then since we have angle 1 and 2 are vertical angles, angle 2 is also 70. And then we can find out angle 3 by doing 70 plus 68, which is 138. So 180 minus 138 is 42. So angle 3 is 42 degrees. So angle 1 we have is 70, angle 2 is 70, and angle 3 is 42. Okay, so use this to help gauge your knowledge. How did you do? Do you have to go back to review any homework questions? So something to think about as we complete the notes today. All right, so we're going to talk about interior and exterior angles of a triangle. And interior angles, we have 3 angles. We have 3 interior angles. And then exterior angles. So we end up having exterior angles attached to the interior angles. So if I extend this line out, angle 2 is an interior angle. Angle 4 is its exterior angle. So the exterior angle, notice 2 and 4, they're right next to each other. They're adjacent angles and they are on a straight line. So we could say that an interior angle plus the measurement of an exterior angle equals what measure? 180 degrees. So if we have 180 degrees, we know that they form a linear pair. Okay, so 2 and 4 are an interior-exterior angle pair. But I'm going to redraw this for a moment just so you can notice how 2 and 4 could also look that way, right? We can extend and we can have angle 2 and 4. So notice how if I did draw both of these exterior angles, we have a pair of vertical angles here. So notice how whether it's this angle that I'm circling or this angle that I'm boxing, those 2 angles will have to be congruent. So there's only one exterior angle at each, there could be 2 exterior angles at each vertex, but there's only one measure of those exterior angles. Okay, so we have, let's call this an exterior angle, so 4. And here I'm going to call this an exterior angle here, so we'll call that 5. And then here we'll have an exterior angle there, we'll call that 6. Okay, so we'll have 3 interior and 3 exterior. So this is kind of going back at a single vertex. What do you know about the interior and exterior angle? What do they form? So we just spoke about this on the previous slide, but they form a linear pair. So they're adjacent, next to each other, and supplementary. Okay. Great, so now I'm looking at this diagram. I want us to find the value of x. So we know 35 and 70, and then we have another angle in here that we don't know. But I want you to pause the video, draw the diagram, and I want you to find the value of x, and you can use your calculator. So one way you can look at it, you could say, all right, well, 35 plus 70, that equals 105 degrees. So in order to find where I put the question mark, we have to do 180 minus 105, which gives us 75. So we know that right here is 75 degrees. And then if you notice, we have an interior angle and an exterior angle. Those form a linear pair. So 180 minus 75 gives us 105. So x equals 105. Where else did we have a sum of 105 in this problem? When we added the 35 and the 70, that gave us 105. So we had to add those two interior angles, and look, we got that exterior angle measure. So here is a shortcut. Okay, here's a shortcut. Something called the triangle exterior angle theorem. So the name doesn't really, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to memorize the names, but triangle exterior angle theorem is something that we should know. So what that is, and you're all going to write, the measure of an exterior angle of a triangle equals the sum of the measures of the two remote interior angles. So remote is a word that's foreign to us, okay, when we're thinking about this. So think about remote. We have remote controls, something that's detached from the television. We have a remote control car, right? Again, something that's detached. So remote island, or an island that's detached. So if I want to find the value of x, angles 2 and 3 would be my remote interior angles, and x is my exterior angle. Okay, so notice how angle 2 and 3 are not attached to angle x. So that's why they're remote. So going back to this diagram, notice how 35 and 70 are not attached to angle x. Therefore, these are the two remote interior angles. So if we add the two remote interior angles, angle 2 and angle 3, then that equals the measurement of angle x. So remote interior plus remote interior angle equals the exterior angle. Okay. So make sure you're writing this down, drawing the diagram, writing out what I have on the slide, so you have that in your notes. All right, so let's do a bit of practice. Let's look at this first diagram. Okay, we're going to focus on that. So pause the video if you have to draw it. So let's draw it out. But we have 42 degrees and then x degrees, and then we have 100. So 100, is that an interior or exterior angle? It's an exterior angle. And we could say that x and 42 are two remote interior angles because they're unattached from this 100 degrees. So 42 plus x should equal 100. And now to solve that equation, we can subtract 42, and if we need to, we can use our calculator, and we get x is 58 degrees. Okay? So why don't you pause the video and try the next one. Okay, so we have x and 40. Those are the two remote interior angles. That 115 is the exterior angle. So I got x is 75. Okay. And then looking at this third diagram, we have all interior angles, but this is 30 degrees. But then these two angles are the same. So what's the sum of all the angles in a triangle? 180. So what would the value of x be? So I got x equals 75 degrees. Okay, so that's another problem, just kind of getting us used to the triangle angle sum theorem. But notice how there are no exterior angles in that third diagram. Okay, this is the last problem that we're going to practice today, but it has multiple parts. So we want to find the measurement of angle 1, 2, and 3. And again, we can use our calculator. But I also want to ask you how many triangles are there in this diagram? Okay, because we have quite a few. So I see this one. I'm just going to focus on that triangle for a moment. So we have 95 and 24. Then we have 33, and then that 2 is there. So why not try that out? Let's do 95 plus 24 plus 33. See what that is. And I got 152. So 180 minus 152 equals 28 degrees. So we know the measurement of angle 2 is 28 degrees. Okay. So if angle 2 is 28 degrees, and then we have 95 here, what if I gave you this triangle? Just that one there. Notice how angle 1 is an exterior angle to 95 and 28. So what's 28 plus 95? That gives us 123. So we know the measurement of angle 1 is 123 degrees. Okay. So if that's 123 degrees, let's look at this piece. Here is an interior angle and an interior angle, but here's an exterior angle. So if we have 109 plus x equals 123, then we can subtract 109 from 123. And we can get 14 degrees. So we know angle 3 is 14 degrees. All right. So you could use your knowledge of triangle angle sum theorem and not use the shortcut of the exterior angle theorem, but for homework tonight or for practice tomorrow, we're going to actually jump into using this theorem, this exterior angle theorem, and use the shortcuts that we're learning. And that's all for today's lesson.